Tuesday, October 6th, 2020. You gotta love it. We're gonna play the full version of this old truck at the end of the show. All right. You gotta love it. Living in a wild world these days. Completely life-changing events have been going on. Okay, so here we go, my friends. Another exciting episode of The Real with Mel Highsmith, number 48. Live from the historic and original Lakeside Pawn and Jewelry here in beautiful Marble Falls, Texas. Well, you got to wonder about the tenacity of a president that we have in Donald Trump. And here's an article from the White House Press Secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, about why his tenacity is so great. And this is from the White House Press Secretary, said this week that all America will overcome the coronavirus pandemic, noting that President Donald Trump has left the hospital following his diagnosis. And with that right there, with anything else in this world, our hearts, especially on the show, The Real, goes out to everybody who's ever been contracted coronavirus. Anyways, so America will overcome the coronavirus pandemic, and the president's feeling great. Now, Press Secretary McEnany, she also tested positive for the coronavirus. And she's saying that she feels great, that she told Fox News on Hannity last night. You know, I'm very blessed to have a mild case, or really just an asymptomatic case of the COVID-19, she said. You know, my heart goes out to all of those who have been affected by this and all those who have lost their lives. And everybody's been saying that. It's been a horrible, horrible tragedy, which what most people had to go through in the first place. It just absolutely saddens my heart. She also added, I'm pleased to see that our commander-in-chief, that'd be President Trump, is doing well. Watching him on that balcony when we return to the White House, just showing that we will overcome how great America is, just as he is overcoming this illness. I think that it was really a nice moment for our country to see him do that. And I totally agree. Any president going through anything, the people of the country just want to see him come out of it. You know, like I said in past episodes, you know, Donald Trump had his followers and they were happy for anything that ever took place in his life, to where Donald Trump has his followers, and when he went to the hospital, people, you know, they're scared. He's their leader, and they just wanted to see their lives led by somebody who actually cares about themselves. And that's a president who donates all of his pay, as president. Ask yourself this: have you ever heard of any other president doing that? Donating their pay to different charities? You haven't. So when Trump returned to the White House on Monday, where he quickly removed his mask and stood for photos at the top of the balcony. This was a novel virus that came from China. No one had seen it. There were no tests. There were no therapeutics, said White House Press Secretary McEnany. In short order, President Trump developed them, and this vaccine is on pace to be the fastest vaccine for a novel pathogen in human history. A lot of people heard me say when I call the Corona-19 pandemic the greatest pandemic that's ever hit man. So it's verified right there. Now here's a little bit from Donald Trump himself. I got this off his Twitter page. Now it is wild. I'll talk a little bit more about it after I read it, but it is wild that most social media has dropped this one like a hot potato. So here's from Donald Trump's Twitter page itself. Flu season is coming up. Many people every year, sometimes over 100,000, and despite the vaccine, die from the flu, meaning that we do have the flu vaccine. Are we going to close down our country? No. We have learned to live with it, just like we are learning to live with the COVID. In most populations, far less lethal. Well, I could tell you this, Mr. President. The reason why it's more lethal in America, it's called the media. The media has churned this and churned it and scared the living daylights out of your everyday Americans. Today I dropped a package off UPS. When I walked in, I had this on. And this poor lady looked at me like I had just walked in. I must, kind of like Pigpen and the Peanuts cartoons, to where you can see the coronavirus around me or something like that. I mean, it has scared people, and they continue to scare people because they get high ratings for it. Because no one really cares about your mental safety; they care about your financial safety, so you can pay more tax money to line the pockets and pay for their special interest. So, data from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention shows that the flu kills far less than 100,000 Americans each year, on average, with an annual number of American deaths from the flu averaging around 36,000. Now, that's according to Politico, okay? So that's Politico's information, not mine. Trump has repeatedly compared the coronavirus, which has killed over 200,000 Americans since the outbreak began earlier this year, to the flu. No, he hasn't said that. He said it's similar to the flu. And here's the thing. We don't know if that 200,000 is confirmed cases, because once it started popping up, that people were calling other conditions of people dying from corona. When they had corona, when they died. So like, if somebody had cancer and died and had coronavirus, it's counted as coronavirus. It just... Not saying I don't believe anything, that's not what I mean. But what I'm just saying is the numbers do not add up. David Smothers, how's it going, man? How's it going, sir? So, anyways, Twitter labeled Donald Trump's post as a violation of the platform's rules and hid it behind a warning message. But honestly, let's be real right here. All the social media platforms are hiding everything Trump says with some form of fact-checking, dropping his post like a hot rock, or putting up their banners saying this is just not true. Really, you have to wonder, why is everything in social media land and the lunatic left out to get Donald Trump? Because he's for you and me. He's for all of us. And by God, please wake up before it's too late. Stand up for yourself, your family, or for whatever form it is, no matter what religion, creed, color, or however you view your life or see it. We have a fundamental right given to us by our founding fathers that became ours by birth or citizenship status. Citizenship status came later, but you get the gist. To have a say in our lives. Everyday Americans, just like you and me, my friends, are giving up their God-given rights to freedom that no man has a right to have powers over. We were born with that, every human being. Now, some people might not agree with me on that. That's just Mel Highsmith's view on it, okay? So somebody, if they don't disagree, tough. So please, I'm begging you, get out, vote. Vote your conscience, vote your community, vote your family. You know, I talked yesterday about going out to the pumpkin patch this past Sunday. It was a great thing because I have my conscience in hand and I know how I view my country, that I was able to have a great day on Sunday. David Smothers, you have said, great, have an Ormond Beach Republican Club dinner and meeting tonight. Hope to take some pictures. David, can you do me a favor? Post some of those on the Reel with Mel Highsmith. I would love to have those pictures up there. And that's to anybody. I would love to have y'all want to put pictures on the site, go ahead. Anything that's patriotic. I love that. So there's other things that we got to worry about besides the presidency. I mean, there's other elections. You know, my own state, John Cornyn's out there fighting for his life against MJ Hagar. I'll tell you this, MJ Hagar does not have the experience that we need to run our state. That's why for me, Mel Highsmith, I'm for John Gordon. Let's go with this thing. But MJ Hagar, we don't need anybody that comes from the ultra-liberal left coming into Texas. We're the world's ninth largest economy. By the time they're done, they will destroy it. So, here's an article I got off Newsmax from Senator Ted Cruz. And here's what he had to say about the Supreme Court vacancy. Okay. Senator Ted Cruz, Republican of Texas, is predicting Senate Republicans will have enough votes to confirm Amy Coney Barrett, President Trump's pick for the Supreme Court. Boy, it is very important to get that seat filled before the elections. Because tying the elections up in court is the first salvo of the fire and brimstone that's actually going to go on. So, Senator Cruz said, "I'm very confident. I believe we have the votes. I believe we can get it done. As I see it, we have a solid 51 votes right now." Those are his words. I'm just reading from the article. And from the conversations in conference, I don't see that changing at all. Well, we can only hope it doesn't. That final Supreme Court justice will be the deciding point of who's the next president of the United States. That's just what I believe. Now listen, you don't have to go along with me on this or always believe what I got to say, but at least you know. I'm just going to tell you how I'm reading it. So the Hill noted that Cruz's comments are the latest sign that the Republicans are set to move forward, even as 3 GOP senators have tested positive for coronavirus. You know, it's actually crazy how all the Republicans are now coming down with coronavirus, you know. Senator Ron Johnson from Wisconsin said Monday that he'll go to the Capitol in a moon suit to vote if he's still testing positive for the coronavirus. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. For everybody who's been through the coronavirus, who's been sick by it, affected by it, and their businesses have been out, I don't understand how the liberal left can literally make that a focal point, and they're where these senators are not going to vote. Vote your conscience. I mean, we're going to need some help here. Really, honestly, we're going to need some help here. The Senate Judiciary Committee is scheduled to start its hearings Monday and run through October 15th. Senators, that would be yesterday, senators have the option to question Barrett remotely. Cruz said he had asked Senate Judiciary Chairman Lindsey Graham, Republican South Carolina, why he wasn't scheduling the hearing sooner. Let's see. I wanted to make sure that we had this sufficient timing to get the confirmation completed before Election Day. All of the parliamentary experts we talked to and felt confident that no matter what the shenanigans the Democrats are going to pull over us, we would have sufficient time to get the job done by Election Day. Let's just hope we get it done by Election Day. So now I'm just going to, move out of the political realm real quick. And I want to go talk about something that I absolutely, completely love. And that's music, musicians. Been a musician all my life. My younger brother, Mel Highsmith, has been a musician all my family. So for the month of October, so far, this is what we got here in my local area. If you ever want me to, promote your event, if you're a musician, okay, it's a little bit different. If you're a musician, you want me to promote your stuff for you, contact me and I'll put it on here and say it. So here in October, we got this weekend, Trailblazers second Thursdays of the month at Trailblazers Grill. This is located in downtown city of Burnett, here in Burnett County, Texas. Great place, a great bar and grill. Although it's not historic, it has that feeling that you honestly belong there. And they're going to have 2 amazing people that I've had the benefit to have, and I say it all the time, on the K-Bay Homegrown Hour show. It's John Arthur Martinez and Mike Blakely. So they're going to go up there and do a song swap together, and it's pretty awesome to watch these 2 gentlemen. They have played and written music together for more than 20 years. And that's an accomplishment, especially on a local level. When everybody spends all their time worrying about all the big national bands and acts and stuff like that, you got to understand we have smaller cities out here. So our big acts are guys like these. You know, they're the ones going out there playing and just grueling it out in the mud, per se, in the musical world. So that's October 8th, Thursday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's a 2-hour show, but you can also get yourself some good food out there. Trailblazers Grill. So let me come over here, check my comments. You know, David, this is David Smothers over here in comments. I'll check that video out when I'm able to get out of the feed. And I'll respond back to you after the show on that. So then we have a place I used to work as an engineer at, Horseshoe Bay Resort in Horseshoe Bay, Texas, right there on the lake. They have the Dueling Pianos fundraisers with Fun Pianos Dueling Piano Show. I think they should get a hold of me, and I'd be able to fix how they set that up there. But anyways, that's actually this Friday, October 9th, 7 p.m. to 9:45 p.m. I'm assuming it's a public show because it's put out there as a public event. This is getting a little bit deep into October, but this is out Saturday, October 17th. I've always told the story about Stoney LaRue, how I met the guy. But you got Stoney LaRue's Fireworks Spectacular at the Hot Spot in Cedar Park, Texas. That's always a good one right there. So, what are you going to be able to do? What do you plan to do, my friends, after this election? Whether you're for Joe Biden or for Donald Trump, it doesn't matter. The question that I'm asking you, are you preparing now for the inevitable? That maybe the person you're backing is not going to win? From Biden supporters, who basically you can call Bernie supporters, to the Trump supporters. Everybody's going to be affected. But the world will have to go on the way it was before. I mean, there's just no choice. The fire and brimstone from the mentally misguided youth of America running around the streets and the cities has just got to stop. It has totally scared the hell out of people. And one thing I can promise you this is the people running around doing that, okay, well, guess what? They're not the ones paying the bills for all these politicians to have the money to spend. Think about that. Think about that for a minute. How does that make you feel to know with the things that are going on right now in our life that you got to make a decision about your future? I think about it every day. I know that I've got a choice, and it's going to be a hard one. But the choice I'm making it with my conscience. And come November 3rd, it's not going to end there. The crazy lunatic left, what they're going to do is they're going to launch the election straight into the courts. Their mobs in the cities are going to loot, pillage, and burn. And I'm not saying this to scare the hell out of you. I'm telling you, you got to be prepared. Because if you're not, man, I just don't want to think of what the outcome would be if you were not prepared for what's going to take place. This is going to be a dogfight. Once this thing hits the courts, we're all going to be holding our breath, wondering who's the president of the United States. While out here on our local levels, they're going to be ripping us apart. So you make sure that, however you got to do it, you're going to have to be looking over your shoulder to make sure, because you're not only voting for a president, you're voting down an entire line of candidates who have the purse strings to your bank accounts. You're like, well, Mel, they don't. Yes, they do. Those taxes, your social security number. That's the whole thing. So vote with your conscience, whether you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, but make sure you're prepared. Because if you're not going to prepare for the inevitable outcome of what's probably going to happen, I'm not talking about war in the streets. I mean, I'm talking about these guys are going to go nutso. I don't think it's Donald Trump's going to get defeated. I just don't think so. I think in the end, Donald Trump is going to win and get 4 more years. But either way, the Biden Bernie children, they are going to go nutso. I mean, I often wonder how the parents feel when they watch on their television set and they know that their kid is out there, rioting in the streets and just doing the most ridiculous, irresponsible, treacherous type of behavior. How's that parent feel? I know myself, I'd be disgusted at my kids for doing it. I would. But America's a different place where kids are raised differently now than they were in the yesteryears. I know when I acted up in school, the biggest fear I ever had, and this is no joke, was my mother. If I had to go home, because that school would call my mother, and I knew my hind pot was about to get tanned. But you don't have that today. You just don't. That's why you have to prepare now. If you're putting anything back for your savings, if you can do it, I don't care if it's your pennies, just do something. Because they're going to make the stores run out of crap again, and everybody's going to be freaking out on toilet paper. And what was even up with that, I don't know. But that's what's going to happen. We hope not to see any of this lunacy and nonsense from the lunatics on the left in the rural areas. And God, I hope they don't. I know some of these country folk that are just not going to put up with that type of behavior. So I don't think we will see it. But the big cities, man, I pray for them. I really, really do. Because I don't want to see any more harm come to these cities and these businesses. My heart's been broken so much to learn just in my local area on how many businesses now have went out because of the COVID-19 pandemic from the shutdowns. Everybody here in the state of Texas, the bar, venues, and community, everybody's been holding their breath, waiting for Governor Abbott to open it all back up. Excuse me. But to open everything back up, I brought a lot of joy to my heart to see our local VFW open back up. I thought that was awesome. I've been seeing all their pictures out on Facebook. They got their restaurant going in there, and it's good for them. I'm very proud and happy to see things happening in the local area around me in a positive direction, because we need it. We all need it. I see everybody around me and they're depressed and they're tired. They have bags under their eyes. I probably haven't had a good night's sleep in 9 months. Like a lot of Americans. Like a lot of Texans. Like a lot of Marble Fallsians. It doesn't matter where you're from. We're all exhausted and tired. But our president, he renegotiated a lot of deals to guarantee that the children that come after us won't be paying the price with these other countries. That's why we did all the deals. So you better believe that this pandemic, as hard as we've all been through, that the liberal lunatics have taken advantage of every bit of it. For all the people who support Joe Biden, right? One thing that's never made sense, and I'll just get through this quick, is the virus is so deadly they want to shut down the country. Biden's already said he will close the country down immediately and throw the gags, the masks, mandatory on everybody. So let that sink in. If you're not prepared for what's going to happen, this is no joke. It is going to happen. And that's just coming from you, a guy inside of a pawn shop, inside of a small town in the middle of Texas. I talk every single episode about our children. Hashtag save our children. When you go home tonight, grab your kids, give them a hug, kiss them on the forehead, and tell them a little prayer. Because if the right side, the correct side, the godly side does not win, then the barbarians will be allowed into the gates. The lunatic left will unlock that lock and allow them to walk in. Remember that. So let's end today's episode with a prayer from Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be the dread of them. For it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will not leave you or forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6. Amen. I love ending every single day, but that one hits me especially. People don't understand that the more you love your Lord, regardless in what concept you believe in God, you will be closer to something because at least your heart will be filled. Your heart will be filled, and that's all I want to see. I want to see everybody happy. I want to see everybody with a smile on their face. So when everybody asks me, Mel Highsmith, what makes you happy? And that's to see a smile on the face, and everybody get to hear these words. We love you. So let's end this right now. I'm going to give the full version. This old truck.
Time's been everywhere. Every day that I drove you, headed down that road, windows down, that radio blaring, a guardrail didn't hold. This old truck, she has saved me. She is all I got. This old truck, she has
Get out and vote.
Truck, she just died, sure did make me cry. Every day that I drove you, headed down those roads, windows down, that radio blaring, a guardrail didn't hold. This old truck, she has saved me. She is all I got. This old truck, she has freed me. When will she stop? Truck, she just died, and now I started to cry. Every day that I drove you, headed down that road, windows down, that radio blaring, guardrail didn't hold. This old truck never freed me. She is all I got. This old truck, she is sad.